Johnny Cage is a lovable asshole. At least he gets really lovable in his older age. When he's young, I just cannot stand him. But he has a lot of his classic moves and new abilities based off of the world of filmmaking. He's even picked up a trick or two from the paparazzi with "Say Cheese." This actually leaves a bit of a flash effect on the opponent that makes the attack actually be a restand. Now, I'm not an expert at Johnny Cage at all, but I'll see if I could do. I'll see if I can, like, do something with this. There it is. It's a restand. And not a true, like, combo continuer like it would be for Sub-Zero, but a restand nonetheless. You can amplify this move to turn it into a combo amplifier. Calm down. We're not going to see you again until Fallen Kingdom. Or whatever the hell Jurassic World 3 is going to be called. This is actually a 2-slot ability, which is interesting because this has... It has the same restand... I think it's because it has the same restand potential. And technically even better combo potential because this is a restand combo extender. Which means that the opponent will be grounded, meaning they don't really suffer from juggle decay. Unlike the launcher for Nut Punch. But it's a 2-slot ability, which means you're only left with one. For instance, Caged Rage! Fun fact, this move actually once belonged to Scorpion in the Reveal build, before it got moved over to Johnny Cage. The amplified version is not quite a launcher, but it does launch them into the air. Now this move actually has a unique property. No other move has this. On block, or normally it's just a high. If it's blocked once, it becomes a mid and does more damage. And on the third one, the move becomes an unblockable attack, which means you can't block this. And it looks like, if I set my cards right, if I just set my cards right, there we go, this should do more damage. Yeah, it goes from 60 to 80 to 100. But you lose that charge whenever you sort of miss. So, if you miss this move, okay, if I were to miss with Caged Rage, or land this move, it will actually not work out. So this is a great way to kind of, if I can actually do, there we go. A sort of extender on block that locks and loads a powerful unblockable attack should they get too cocky and too defensive. A great way to literally open them up. Time to move on to the next loadout. This variation of Johnny Cage is styled off of the asshole Johnny Cage we saw in Mortal Kombat 11. So I decided to give him some more MK9, MKX sort of moves. I started him off with High Force Ball, which is a high arcing version of his straight Force Ball, which he does lose. And he can amplify it to chuck 2 of them. Which usually, if it's high, it then goes straight. Or with Low Force Ball, it would also follow the straight arc, but it does not. It just follows the same arc. And these are 1-slot abilities that do not conflict with each other, meaning that you can actually equip both of them at the same time. Rising Star replaces Flippy Kick and launches Johnny Cage into the air with his elbow, just like in, I believe it was the Fisticuffs? No, Shadow Kick, the Shadow Double variation from Mortal Kombat X. And even has the same come down animation, except it doesn't do quite as much damage. But it can be amplified without hitting, allowing you for an overhead, uh-oh, I whiffed, wait a minute, I'm gonna clock him if he's gonna duck. Time to move on to the next loadout. Would it really be Johnny Cage without some sort of ninja mime reference? Brass Knuckles, we're going to start at the bottom and move our way to the top here, is a buff that allows Johnny Cage to actually do his fisticuff shenanigans. These do not buff the damage on his punches unless the opponent is blocking. Again, I will demonstrate here. 1, 2, 3, block. 1, 2, 3. So, here we go. I'm going to demonstrate it with standing 1. Okay, that's 20, Now if he blocked, see how it does 6 damage? Normally, his standing punch will only do 3 damage. So it doubles the amount of chip damage that Johnny Cage gets. This can be actually kind of complemented with Pissed Off. Not a true command grab, but this just allows Johnny Cage to beat the crap out of you and can be amplified. Apologies, my phone is blowing up right now. I'll have to take a look at that after this little thingy majiggy. A good way to end your combos, for sure. And now for the moment you've all been waiting for. Mime time. This is a counter, similar to Liu Kang's, where, of course, he waits for the opponent to make a stupid move. I'm going to record that stupid move real quick like. Dash in and do that. So, as you see, it's just a standard amplify or a standard parry. But but the best part about it all is you can amplify it not once, but twice. You can amplify it to launch or amplify it twice to really fake out your opponent and have them get parried. This does have a crushing blow, but remember, we're saving those for the crushing catalog, and boy howdy, does Johnny have some weird crushing blows. Time to move on to the next loadout. This version of Johnny Cage, he does look strange, I do understand that, but I think this is supposed to be some sort of Pilates or like 80s jazzercise reference or something. Anyway, the first thing to keep in mind with Johnny Cage is that he actually has several moves that replace Flippy Kick, and I believe the second one of these moves replaces something, but I don't quite remember what. Anywho, so replacing Shadow Kick is Clothesline. A stand-in, or stunt double, comes in and clotheslines the opponent. But this move, unlike other sort of assist-type moves, comes out even if Johnny Cage is hit, meaning that the opponent is never truly safe and must be ready to get clobbered at any moment. Amplified. If I could. There it is. Allows the stand-in to do a second hit. Almost have to do like an MKX style meter burn. Anyway, stunt double is very similar, except this is an overhead. But you can very clearly see Johnny Cage calling the stunt double, and it doesn't really track that well. That's part of the thing. So if you're smart and have a quick advancing move, you will be fine. He can amplify it to allow the opponent to be restrained, allowing Johnny Cage to move in and go for it. But Johnny, the stunt double, will run off cue after a moment. And you can throw after this. So perhaps a good way to try and end a juggle or catch an opponent off guard. Excuse me. Finally, we have throwing shades. As Johnny Cage apparently has an unlimited supply of sunglasses, he can actually use them as short-range projectiles. Not infinite range, mind you, but still. Talk about throwing shades. Boo, you stink. Shut up, me. Time to move on to the last custom variation. I gotta remember, I actually have to do frickin' tourney variations. And it turns out Mediterranean Johnny actually has nothing new. He just has Pissed Off, Brass Knuckles, and Caged Rage. But it took me, I do want to make a quick note, it took me for freaking ever to get Kiss the Rings because of shenanigans in the crypt, but I'm happy that I finally got them. Now, let's move on to tournament variations. I almost said, let's do the Fatal Blow, but no, not there quite yet. Okay, it's not quite variation 2, but still. Okay, so it looks like the stunt double grab would actually conflict with Caged Rage, but still, this is hilarious. We've talked about these moves already. Mime Time, Brass Knuckles, and Caged Rage. Although the Brass Knuckles Caged Rage combo actually looks like a pretty decent one. So I want to experiment now. Okay, let's do all. Did I not tell you to block? Okay, you're blocking normally. Alright, so As I said before, Caged Rage does increase chip damage and then becomes unblockable. With Brass Knuckles on, okay, we got 35. We got 40. Okay. So you can have this on and rapidly charge your Caged Rage while you have Brass Knuckles on to do even more chip damage. Ouch. Stop looking at me like that. Time to move on to the final variation for Johnny Cage. I think this variation is just made for goof, because we got Throwing Shades and Sage Cheese. Alright, now it's time for the Fatal Blow, and then we're going to look at frame data for all of Johnny Cage's moves, and then we're going to proceed on to the next character. Yeah!